Hey, good morning. It's Monday, May 3rd. Thanks so much for being here. Running a little bit later this morning just because I had to get out to my doctor's office earlier and get some lab work done. It's in anticipation of my yearly physical. So get started now. Today is Monday. On Mondays, we talk about worldview. And this morning, the worldview topic is about as basic as it's going to get. This may not sound like it's something should be a part of worldview, but it genuinely really is. And the theme this morning is your children know your heart. And remember, our definition of worldview is understanding how God runs his world. And children know the hearts of their parents. There's a genuineness there. There's an authenticity that children can read. You've heard me say it other times, this is stated kind of negatively, but children are born with hypocrisy chuckers built right in, and they're fully functioning right from day one. Well, this is the positive side of that statement, that your children know your heart. Now, as parents, that ought to do two things. It ought to scare us, because we know we can't be fake or hide things from them, but then it ought to drive us to Christ, because there's our refuge. And trusting his word is what gives me the ability to be authentic and real with my children, so that they can know my heart, see the things that are wrong with me, but also see that I'm trusting in Christ. I heard a sermon yesterday. My pastor, Jay Kraut, had this to say. He was preaching a psalm at the end of Psalm 27, and verses 13 and 14 say this. And this is, you may not think of this as connected to parenting, but trust me, this is huge for parenting. As the psalm concludes at verse 13, yet I am confident I will see the Lord's goodness in the land of the living. Therefore, wait patiently for the Lord. Be brave and courageous. Yes, wait patiently for the Lord. And this waiting patiently, as the New Living brings out, is very much connected to the fruit of the Spirit of patience that Paul tells us about. Patience means living in the expectation of God's care. Well, in Psalm 27, verse 13, David is confident that he will see the Lord's goodness while he is here in the land of the living. In other words, he's got eternity connected to right now. It matters right now. He gets it. So all the world doesn't have to work perfectly for him to be content, because he knows that his God will make things right. Okay? How do we connect this to parenting? Listen to what Paul says in Ephesians 6. Children, obey your parents, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment of their promise, that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on the earth. Your children doing well is tightly connected to how well they respond to you. How well they respond to you is tightly connected to how genuine and authentic you are in talking to them about God. And if we're going to be genuine and authentic about God in a way that is attractive to our children, we have to be confident that we will see God's goodness while we are here right now. You see that connection? I know that I am loved by God. David knew this, and he knew God would be good to him. He understood the eternal realities and how they touch the moments of our life. So David was confident of God's goodness, even right now, not just when he dies or in the days to come, but right now. He's confident of God's goodness to him. He's confident of walking in God's ways, of honoring God. It's not just a checklist for obedience, but it's the path to joy and peace. That confidence, then, is what we need to give to our children, because children are supposed to obey their parents. Well, there is no child yet who has had a perfect parent. So that child's confidence has got to be in a confidence that he can trust God. She can trust God. And we do this by honoring our parents so that it may go well with them, our children, and enjoy long life. Well, this enjoying long life has substance to it. If parenting is drudgery, if your commands are drudgery, obey or else, you better obey or I'm not going to be happy. You better obey or God is not going to be happy. There's nothing attractive about that at all. That's just fear-based. Fear and love don't work. They push each other apart. So the worldview is your children know your heart. And if that heart is confident of God's goodness and blessing, even when it's difficult, then we can transmit to our children our confidence in God's goodness and blessing. They will see that genuineness in us. We're not looking for perfection. We're not looking for their behavior to make them acceptable to us. Rather, we are rejoicing with God that we have the opportunity to walk together and serve Him. So we are presenting to God, before God, our confidence that God's goodness will be made known to us right now in the land of the living, right at this moment. And therefore, we are being confident to tell our children, and they will see that confidence and that genuineness, not our perfection, but our genuineness of our heart, that we believe it will go well for us as we honor God. Therefore, your children can know that they will go well for them as they honor God. So this is pretty huge. Your children know your heart. That's a basic fact of life. That's a worldview reality. Let them see a heart that is confident that you will see the goodness of God right here, right now. And that's the thought for the day. Thanks so much for being here this morning, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on post notifications. And Lord willing, we'll see you again tonight. But think on that. Your children know your heart. You have a great day. Bye-bye.